Okay, let's dive into a fascinating story about how one single government policy in Hungary didn't just nudge the economy, it totally reshaped how people thought about money and created a huge new puzzle for marketers to solve.
So it all starts with this number, 3%. The Hungarian government rolled out this subsidized home loan with a 3% interest rate. Now at the time, the regular market rate was somewhere around 6.5, maybe 7%. That difference, that gap, that was the spark that lit the whole fire.
So I want you to think about this for a second. What happens psychologically when a loan doesn't feel like a debt? When it feels less like an obligation and more like a gift? That question right there is the key to understanding the spending explosion that was about to happen.
You see, for thousands of people, the money they saved on their monthly payments didn't feel like savings. It felt like gift money. It was like this extra cash just appeared in their budget that they never planned on having. And suddenly, it gave them this kind of consumer superpower.
And what do you do when you suddenly have a superpower? You use it. The result was this incredible boom in the DIY and home furnishing market. People were buying everything: furniture, paint, smart home gadgets. They weren't just buying houses, they were instantly building their dream homes. But this created a really interesting and complicated new market. Because here's the thing, this huge wave of new homeowners wasn't just one big, faceless crowd. When you dig into the data, you find that three totally distinct tribes of shoppers emerged. And each one had completely different reasons for buying.
And this table just lays it out so clearly. You've got your family-first nest builders, your techie green modernizers, and your bottom-line-focused urban nomads. I mean, look at them. They're motivated by different things, they're buying different products, and they're not even hanging out on the same parts of the internet.
So let's break them down. First, you have the nest builder. These are your young families. For them, a home is not just an asset on a spreadsheet, it's the foundation for their family's future. They're all about emotional security, stability, and creating that perfect, safe space for their kids to grow up in. Then you've got the green modernizer. This group is a completely different species. They are tech-savvy, they are data-driven, and they see their home as a system to be optimized. They're buying things like heat pumps and smart tech, not just for kicks, but because it's a rational investment that's going to save them money and increase the value of their property down the line. And finally, our third tribe, the urban nomad. This is the pure investor. They're using that cheap government loan as leverage to snap up a property, do a quick, stylish renovation, and then rent it out for cash flow. For them, the whole game is about speed, aesthetics, and making the place look amazing on Instagram to attract renters. So, you can see the problem this creates for businesses, right? Your traditional one-size-fits-all ad campaign is completely useless here. An ad about creating a safe space for your baby is going to fly right past the urban nomad, and a message about ROI is going to put the nest builder to sleep. It all comes down to this one critical question. If you're a company selling thousands of home-related products, how on earth do you create ads that speak directly to all three of these mindsets at the same time? You can't just hire a million marketers. There has to be a better way.
And it turns out the answer wasn't more people. It was smarter technology. It was a completely new way of thinking about advertising, where the ads basically build themselves to be perfect for whoever is looking at them.
A company that specializes in exactly this kind of thing, called POMS, had the platform to crack this personalization code. They live and breathe this stuff, and at the heart of their solution is a really powerful technology. And that technology is called Dynamic Creative Optimization, or DCO for short. Now, the easiest way to picture DCO is to think of it as an automated ad factory. It takes in all this data about a person, and, in real time, it assembles the perfect combination of images, text, and offers into an ad made just for them. And the process itself is surprisingly elegant. First, you create one flexible ad template. Then, you hook that template up to live data, product info, customer segments, you name it. After that, the system can spin up literally millions of unique versions of that ad. And finally, its magic is serving the exact right one to the exact right person.
So that's the tech. It sounds great in theory, but the real question is, did it actually work? Well, let's take a look at the impact, because the results were, frankly, incredible.
First off, a 76% increase in return on ad spend. Just think about that. Because every single ad was laser-focused on what that person actually cared about, whether it was family security, energy savings, or rental income, the ad dollars just worked so much harder.
Second, a 36% decrease in the cost per acquisition. So, not only were the ads making way more money, but it actually got a lot cheaper to bring in each new customer, because the message was already perfectly tuned to what they wanted to hear.
And this one is just a total game changer. A 99% reduction in manual production time. All those hours, all those weeks that teams of designers and writers would have spent cranking out endless variations of ads, gone, automated. It freed them up to actually think about strategy.
So the big takeaway from all this is that we're seeing this fundamental shift in what marketing even is. We are moving away from the old model of just broadcasting one message to a giant crowd and hoping it sticks. The future is about having a personal, one-to-one conversation with every single customer, but doing it at a massive scale.
And the core insight, the real strategic genius here, was tying the message back to that gift money feeling. The ads weren't about taking on debt. They were about empowerment. The message was simple and powerful. You deserve this amazing home, and now you can actually do it.
Which really leaves all of us with a final, important question to think about. In a world where technology makes this kind of personalization possible, are you still building messages for a faceless audience, or are you building them for a person?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to follow us on all our channels and share it with someone who might find it useful. Want to learn more about this topic? You can read the full article on our blog. The link is in the bio. See you in the next video.